What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here from GuitarJams.com, hanging with Papa Stash.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah! You gotta do it, you know.
So, dude.
Tell me.
It's great to have you back.
It's great to be here.
I'll say it again. We grew up together, but not everyone always knows that. Sometimes
No.
people ask me have you seen Papa Stash before? I say, yeah, I've seen
A
him
couple
before.
times.
Yeah.
But
Brett-
wait, there's more.
Brett, not only that, there's more.
If you ordered today!
Brett's going to actually break down kind of a major pentatonic lick
Yeah, sure.
right now since you're here.
Let's do it.
Give him a little taste.
Might as well.
Okay, so we'll zoom in and break it down.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it like we're in C minor pentatonic. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the major notes or the major third, right, from our C chord in there and highlight that note in my riff. So what ends up happening is even though it's over a minor box, it ends up sounding major. And what we would do is we'd take this first position, right, that starts at 8 to 11, and then, just C minor pentatonic. And what we're going to do is we're going to put, see, if you go right here, this is position 2. Right here would be the minor third of the chord. So instead of doing that, we're going to target that note right there, and that's going to give us that cool country rock sort of thing. It's used in all sorts of music, but in this instance, we're going to go 10th fret, or excuse me, that'd be the 13th fret, and then we're going to go down to the 11th fret and hammer on to the 12th fret. Okay, so we got... Now, once I get to the B string, I'm going to go 13 to 11 on the B. And then I'm going to go back and forth and pedal off of this G note right here. So G, and then to the C note. And then we're going to go down to the 11th fret. So we got... Okay, now to get into position 1, that would be position 2 of minor pentatonic with that major third thrown in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift it to position 1, and I'm going to use this G and go right back into that home bass, right? So we got... Now I'm going to do a slide that doesn't sound like you hit the note and slide. It's a... you kind of pick while sliding. So, okay, so we got... And then I'm going to pull off again. So that pull off is going to happen at 10 to 8. Okay, and then I'm going to target that same note. The same note here is right here. So that's one of the things you can think about too, is memorize the lick and know that you can play the same lick an octave higher and it sounds different. In reality, you're playing the same notes, so it's kind of a 2-for-1 special, right? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 8th fret of the D and then do what I call stacking, and I stack the notes on top of each other. Okay, so that would be 10 D, 10 G, back to 10 D. And then I'm going to hammer on from 8 to 9. So we got... Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that same kind of thing where I'm going to pull off 10 to 8, but now I'm going to be on the D string. Stack again, this time A to D, same frets, 10th fret. And now I'm going to do something that's a little unorthodox. We're kind of borrowing from some chromatic notes. And what I did there is I went 9 and 10 on the A string. Okay? And then I go back down to 8 on the D. So we got... Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called a chromatic run, and it's just the notes are all right in a row. Okay? And then I'm going to shift down to minor pentatonic position 5, where that major third happens again. right there, right? Again, the octave thing I was talking about, right? So we've taken that same riff over 3 octaves. This time, I'm going to resolve it to our C note, and it's kind of a jump, right? Down to this G5. So if you'll notice, a lot of times when I'm doing this, and it's not mandatory when you're doing a riff like this, but I use those big gaps. I do what's called hybrid picking, and I actually use the fingers on this hand, which I do go over in the video too. And it just helps me, right, not have to move this arm so much. It's kind of an efficient way to do stuff, and it makes notes pop out, which is another cool sound. So we got... And then that's basically the lick. And it's a good transition from when we were jamming on that F part. There's lots of ways to do it. In the DVD, I get into more of the chromatic runs and really how to fuse those together. But I think a lot of times when teaching, both Marty and I, a lot of people want to know how to mix that major and minor pentatonic. And that's really that cool, awesome sound and blues that we all like. It's like, what are those notes that they're hitting? It doesn't sound like the same scale. And you're just sneaking in little things like the